Good evening, YouTube, and welcome back to Paisano's Music and Vinyl Talk. I am your host, Paisano. Tonight, all you Genevieve fans are out of luck. She has fallen asleep. Okay, that's the way that goes. I'm sure she'll be with us on Monday night for the album draw. But until then, you're going to have to live with one half of Team Paisano. Let's talk about Blue Cheer. And Blue Cheer was a San Francisco-based band, and they are credited with being one of the first heavy metal bands. Definitely, volume-wise, they kind of set a standard that was kind of started by The Who, and they're around this time, by 68, The Who was probably one of the loudest bands on the planet, and these guys did their best to match them, that's for sure. And they were around before both Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin. So, you can make a case for, just strictly from a volume standpoint, certainly not from a talent standpoint. These guys weren't nearly on the level of, Black Sabbath or Led Zeppelin as far as, musical prowess is concerned. But they had their place in rock history, that's for sure. And this is a compilation called Louder Than God. And it came out in 1986, and I bought it unknowingly, probably brand new. I just saw it was, a greatest hits. I couldn't find Vinciubus Eruptum, which loosely translates in Latin to Control of Chaos, which was their debut album. I couldn't find that anywhere. I have since found it as a reissue, probably about 15 years ago, and I will be reviewing that at some point. It's a great slice of the late 60s, Vinciubus Eruptum. And this kind of covers the recording time that Blue Cheer spent in the studio. It was a pretty short time between 1968 and maybe 1971 or 72. Not a very long career. They changed members a lot, especially guitar players. And they had a spot in rock history, that's for sure. Led by Dickie Peterson, who was the bass player and singer on 99% of the tunes. But I would say the classic lineup, the lineup that's responsible for their cover of Summertime Blues, which really put them on the map. And in listening to this compilation, I would have to say that it was their best song. Dickie Peterson on bass and vocals, Lee Stevens on guitar, and Paul Whaley on drums. They were one hell of a trio, let me tell you. Strictly from a power standpoint, Lee Stevens was not a great lead guitar player. Whaley was a pretty competent drummer. Dickie Peterson was a passable bassist and singer, I suppose. But I was introduced to this group through MTV's Closet Classics. When MTV first came out, they didn't have enough videos. There weren't enough current videos to fill up the time, so they used to break out old performances, especially from the German TV show Beat Club. They would show videos of bands performing on the Beat Club to fill in the time, and they were called Closet Classics, and their song Summertime Blues was a closet classic. They used to be shown quite a bit, and I was like, whoa, I'm like, check these guys out, in black and white. It was something to see. It's available on YouTube if you're not familiar with it, but go and check it out. It's definitely a sign of the times. for the late 60s, no doubt. Let's go over the track listing. We're talking Summertime Blues kicks it off, Out of Focus, and Parchment Farm. Now, those three songs are off Vinciabus Eruptum. And they show the boys in true blue cheer mode. Loud, not terribly talented, and just running on energy and volume. They finish out side one with Feathers from Your Tree, Just a Little Bit, and Babylon, which are on subsequent albums. Side two starts off with Magnolia, Caboose, Babyfinger, Come and Get It, Peace of Mind, and Fruit and Icebergs. Followed by Fool, and finishes with Hello L.A., Bye Bye Birmingham. The cover shows the classic trio. Dickie Peterson, Lee Stevens, and Paul Whaley. I think they're all gone. I think they're all dead. But Lee Stevens left after a couple albums to be replaced by Randy Holden, who was definitely a better guitar player, but kind of an eccentric from what I read. And he moved on to put out some solo albums in the early 70s. And they started adding people. On the back cover, you see the classic lineup there. The top picture, the classic trio. And then Dickie with the replacements, you know. They added a keyboard player. And, you know, they just didn't sound like Blue Cheer anymore after a little while. You know, but... You know, I said it before, I'll say it again. They had their time. This was put out on Rhino Records. Rhino in the 80s was dedicated to, you know, drudging up old bands and introducing them to a new audience. I don't know if Rhino was still around, but they put out some quality product and brought some bands back into the fold that were kind of forgotten about and introduced them to... you know, a new audience. People that otherwise would not have heard of them. And that's the classic Rhino label there. With the pig tipping his hat, which is a vinyl record. Yep, Rhino did a service, that's for sure. I don't know what else to say about this. Yeah, stay tuned. In the future, I'll be reviewing Vinciabus Eruptum from this group, which is definitely a vintage hard rock / heavy or early heavy metal album for sure. I'm sure we'll rehash the whole thing all over again. There's only so much you can say about Blue Cheer. Right, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We talk about rock and roll here. And if you've been watching for some time and you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe. Just do me a favor, just do it. All right, until Monday night, when I pick up the Pittsburgh Pirates hat, give it a little shake-a-rooney. Genevieve will stick her hand in and hand me a slip of paper holding the name of next week's album. Now, next week we're going to be into April. My goodness, is time traveling. What will the date be? Date will be April the 5th. My goodness. All right, until then, YouTube, good night.